Aloha, beautiful beings of light, beautiful beings of love. Mariana here on Deep Intuitive Healing, Awaken Your Divine Blueprint. I am so happy to be here today. I'm on Goddess time. Our show was supposed to be yesterday, and I was listening to myself as I was really working on this new website and putting a lot of energy there. So I moved the show to today. I normally don't work on Saturdays. It is the Sabbath. It is a day of rest. And I'm finding myself here showing up even on the day of rest, as this is so important to share this information and share the love and share the deep dive on this special subject called abandonment, where I feel that no matter who you are in life, this experience of abandonment is something that we all experience as we leave this earth plane, also on our own. And at one point or another, a person will experience some sort of rejection, some sort of separation, some sort of breakup. And the sense of abandonment can feel very strong in one's being. And so we're going to do a deep dive on this energy, which is a really powerful energy. And I know that a lot of people are dealing with these feelings of abandonment, if we can call it a breakup, a separation, whatever word you want to define it. It does create a sense of abandonment. I'm alone. Something left. Something is not here anymore. I am the only me is here. I know that I sometimes go through it. And so yeah, we're going to go into it. Whoever is here, please say hello in the chat. Hi, Ben. Hi, Ariel. Happy Sabbath. And I actually thought, I was thinking to sing, but my throat, one second. I was thinking to, because it's such a sensitive topic, and maybe some of you are already experiencing something that feels very sensitive and very tender around the word abandonment. Maybe you didn't have parents. Maybe somebody that you deeply love. Maybe you got a divorce. Maybe somebody left. Maybe you left someone. Maybe something happened with your children. Whoever knows, whatever experience you are experiencing in this earth plane around this matter, I thought about tuning into a little soul song to bring calm and balance and love into our energy on this beautiful Sabbath and neutralize the energies before we go into such a sensitive, tender topic. So how does that feel? Ben is saying happy day of rest. Happy day of rest. I think tomorrow is my day of rest, as I have been really working with so much dedication. You know, the work is actually doesn't feel like work because it feels like a life mission. It feels like dedication. And so I've dedicated a lot of my time to bring a new platform, a new website that will deliver much more useful results to everyone. Hey, Daya's in the house, and he just came back from Europe. So happy to have you back, sweet friend. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Yay. I feel so good to have all these beautiful people, all you beautiful people with me here today. All right, well, I'm going to tune into a little soul song and just going to let the melody travel through my heart, and we can all close our eyes and just melt in each other's energy wherever you are in the world. And my intention for this soul song is to bring elevation, to bring calm, to bring relaxation, to bring profound sense of divine love from me to you. You're welcome to put your hands on your heart, just a little bit of love, a little bit of light before we go into this deep dive today. All right, take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Relaxing your body, take another deep breath in through the nose, even deeper than before. Expanding your chest. Feeling the oxygen fill your heart and body. And one more deep breath. Expand your shoulders. Feel your body getting wider with love. And exhale. Creator of all that is, it is commanded to bring the elevation of love, the elevation of light, the elevation of expansion of our highest octave of love through this soul song, to bring the energies of divine union, divine intelligence, and divine wisdom to each and every one of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ide sadraya he yana ume yana he. Ide ya sadraya he yana. Ide sadraya na he yana kiatra he yana uma. Sud ara kiatra hek ara. Hidara sitra he yana. Ud ara kitara hek arasat umashiatra e. Idare sadraya he yana he yana he yana he yana he. Udrayana he ya Idere sadraya he ma ye Idere sadreya ma Idere sadraya he Udere sadraya he ya Idere sadraya he umaya Udareya na sadreya he Yahweh Adara Yahweh Sadreya Nahume Adere Yahusa Draya he yana umara he ya he. And just feel your body and energy that is felt right now in the field. I don't know about you, but I feel a lot more centered and grounded and ready to talk about such deep topics. Let's get into it. Release abandonment and restore the heart of love. And what it's actually about is returning home, right? I'll talk about the schedule and everything later, all the announcements later. I want to get into the topic and leave all the other things to the end. The passion of the one. The one. So the one is our masculine and feminine polarity within our heart. And when they merge, we turn on the light of the creator. When our masculine and feminine polarity is merged in harmonized union within our heart, this has nothing to do with any other person in our external reality. It has everything to do with our inner union. It turns on the light of the one. The light of the one is the light of the creator. The light of the creator is your chi, mana, prana. And love is the battery that charges your heart of the one. It is the passion of the one. So love, which is the highest vibration of energy, is the value to our vessel of the heart. The higher the voltage of love, the higher our harmony with our inner love is turned online, our heart can merge in a harmonious way with the heart of the divine. So this is the most important thing to understand here, because everything that isn't love is weighing us down and creates an experience with our vitality and our chi and mana is going into the experience of healing everything that isn't love. So it's taking a little bit away from our life force because it's focusing on other things. So the more that we can harness the love and be in the vibration of love, then that vitality is circulating and harmonizing with the vibration of love, and love just becomes what is. And the vibration of the one with the creator is vibrating on the highest frequency of joy, bliss, and ecstasy. And this is what we are traveling, expanding, elevating into this consciousness. This is where we want to go. This is where we want to be. So this is the everything that we're talking about that isn't the love of the one, like abandonment today, is just an invitation to look at this experience of abandonment as an experience of the human experience, witness it, and let it go. Because and it's a choice. Some people maybe want to be in their story of abandonment, but you can choose any given moment of the day to let it go. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. The body and the mind. Okay, so just a reminder that everything that is written here is channeled through the divine, and then we talk about it here together and we interpret it together. So you're welcome. This is my interpretation of what comes through. And if you have your own interpretation, please write it in the chat and I will display it. I would like this to be a discussion. Okay, so the body and the mind. Right? The body is the infinite carrier of the mind. So the mind is up here and it's our thoughts, right? Thoughts, everything that we think, the monkey mind, the sovereign mind, the mind can be operating on many different voices, okay? And the body carries these thoughts. So whatever your thought consciousness is holding is the experience of the body. Okay, as the mind is the generator of love thyself. So your mind can be a generator to generate consciousness of love thyself none, which is the experience of I don't love myself, or it can be the generator of thoughts of I love myself. Everything is good. I'm in divine bliss. I'm in love. I'm in joy. I'm in ecstasy. Everything is good. And it really depends on the thought process that's going up here consciously or unconsciously. Sometimes we're on autopilot and the monkey mind can say all kinds of things, whatever it wants to say, it says. The stories that we tell ourselves, it's everything that, and sometimes we're not even like, this is what I'm saying, the monkey mind. Like the monkey mind, there's a witness behind the monkey mind. The monkey mind is like, blah, 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 I should have done, shoulda, coulda, woulda. In order for me to be beautiful, I need to do this. In order for me to have a partner, I need to do this and this. In order for me to have more money, I need to do this and this. I didn't do this. And because I didn't do this, it's this and this and this. And these are like thoughts in the mind that do this every day, all the time. That's why meditation is like number one medicine for this, because it relaxes the mind, right? But this monkey mind is a chatter. And the story that isn't true. I can lie to myself. I always give this example. I can say, in order for me to be loved, I need to be tall and blonde, and I need to have, I don't know, I need to have more money or whatever. Like, you know, any story. These are not my stories, but whatever story that your monkey mind is making up because of whatever circumstance or reality that you grew up in, whatever conditioning you were brought into, born into. You're going to extract the monkey mind thoughts through that experience. And then there's a story that is formed in your mind process. And that creates a force field in your mind of illusion that isn't true. And that is an illusion of the heart. And this creates the energetic signature in your body. So the body is the expression of all the thought and stories that are in your mind. Then you can, some people are having not really the best story and they become sick, they have a disease, they feeling unloved, they feel unworthy, they feel like I'm not good enough. And that creates experiences that they had in their life, makes the experience and the thought process, if I don't love myself, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough. And then that creates dis-ease and an experience in the body that can create distortion of whatever form and shape and form that means. So let's see what you guys are saying. Ben is saying, love equals wholeness of self shared with another. We're going to go into that true also. Not abandonment of self for another. Exactly. So when you're coming from a place of wholeness and then you share yourself with another, you can't experience abandonment with another because you are already whole. So that cancels out the experience of being abandoned with another. Because if you're coming whole, whatever comes into your life or leaves your life, yeah, you're going to experience, if somebody you loved and you had amazing time with and they leave, yeah, sure, you're going to feel sad. Is it going to break you apart? Are you going to lose your joy? Are you going to lose your peace? If you are in your ultimate wholeness and you know who you are, you might experience sadness, but it's not going to break or make you, because the wholeness is going to define yourself with the light of the Creator. That true essence of wholeness is what's going to give you your power, your strength, and your wisdom. And when you are vibrating on all of those energies, you're going to find yourself perhaps experiencing sadness and joy and laughter and all of it at the same time while feeling still good. Like you can still be sad and feel good. But there's a difference between feeling torn apart, abandoned, rejected, and being in a story that I'm not worthy anymore because this person left my life. Because that, if you're giving that much power to someone else, then you're in for a ride. You're in for a glorious ride in this human experience, because this wholeness that we are cultivating together is the experience of the divinity that gives you your ultimate freedom and your ultimate power. Let's see. Ben hasn't. Oh, wait a second. Yeah. All the pain we experience are the weight of thoughts we are carrying with our energy. Exactly. And also physical weight. You know, I know for myself, I'm a little more curvy than other women. And I feel in my own experience, because of that story that I had when I was younger, I had a more experience of people saying things about my body. So that became a story in my mind. And that story in my mind created a story in my body. And these are things that I'm dealing with, you know? So, and my journey has been to love my curves and celebrate them and honor them as the divine feminine. And, you know, this is what, so it's not even just thought weights. It can actually evolve and have the experience in your body as physical matter, as physical weight. And, you know, when you manifest, when we are in our thought process, anything that you see on the planet, on the earth, everything that is built, a house, a car, school, a garden, anything, you know, like things that we create as humans, it's a thought that we put first before we experienced it. It all was birthed through a thought. And same with our body. Our thoughts create our reality with our physical flesh in our body. So I really like that you said that, because if we start changing our thought processing around our body, how would our body react? How would it change? How would dis-ease change? How would pain in our body change when our thought process is changing? Ben is saying we get caught up in a story when we are in a timeline rooted in fear, lack, and the externalization of our power through the illusion of control. That's deep. And the externalization of our power through illusion of control. Need this to sink in. We get caught up in the story when we are in a timeline rooted in fear. So let's say we're rooted in fear and lack. And then our outer experience is the power through the illusion of control. Ben, I need you to elaborate on the second part, the externalization of the power through the illusion of control. I need to understand it a little better, but I'm not sure I follow quite yet. Okay, slowly, we'll get there. I want to understand everybody's interpretation also. And Daya is saying there's a difference between experiencing an emotion versus being an emotion. Oh, wow. Yes, because when you are looking at an emotion as an experience and you're not being the emotion, you're the witness of the emotion. So you're having an emotion, and correct me if this is wrong, Daya, but what I'm reading from this is that there's a difference between if we feel something and we are witnessing the emotion as an experience, it will be a lot easier for us to move through it rather being controlled and becoming that emotion then takes over. And then we're like, that's like swept away with the experience, with the emotion itself, and it can drag us down rather than, oh my God, I'm feeling sad. Okay, I'm going to allow the sadness to just like travel through my body, and I'm going to experience it as an experience because this is what's happening right now, and let it be felt fully and then let it go. Right? So let me just continue here and I'll look at your comments in just a moment. Okay. So healing the relationship within. To heal the relationship with the mind and body, one must foresee the heart with the infinite wisdom of love thyself all. And if this is your first time tuning in and you haven't heard me talk about love thyself all or the expression of love thyself none, love thyself all is the experience of owning our shadow, our light, everything that we have ever experienced in our life, and being in the vibration of the higher octave of love with wisdom. Because the wisdom, when we understand our shadow and we understand the light and we can honor both and we accumulate wisdom from that, the next level above that is love, and that becomes love thyself all as we become this vessel of love. Love thyself none is the experience of I don't love myself. There is something that is not completely harmonized with the light of the creator, with the heart of the divine. And so we want to give that attention and our love to bring wholeness and balance to that experience. And that's what we're doing here together. So to heal the relationship with the mind and the body, remember the thought process and the body, one must foresee the heart with infinite wisdom of love thyself all. So when we cultivate, when we actually reach the state of love thyself all, this starts to affect our mind, our thought process, and then it affects in our body. And then that experience also manifests in our external reality. Meaning the body and soul no longer heal through limitation of love in the heart. So any limitation of you have in the heart, if you are operating on abandonment, rejection, unworthiness, or rejection, or all these lower vibrational experiences, which none of them are wrong, by the way. I don't want you to feel like if you're going through something right now, and I'm saying this right now, that there's something wrong with this experience. Absolutely not true. It is very okay to feel all of these experiences, because through that experience, it's going to elevate you to wisdom. It's going to elevate you to the light. It's going to give you more power. It's going to give you more strength. You're just going through it right now. And I'm sitting here and talking on a podcast on YouTube, but trust me, I go through my own experiences, and I also go through life and feel all the human experience just like you. And though I have learned to love and expect and no, I've learned to love and experience it with devotion to myself as a knowing that whatever experience is in my field, it is for my highest good of all. And that brings me the light of love of the Creator. So if you come with that experience, I promise you that this feeling of whatever you're going through, abandonment, rejection, unworthiness, oh, you can flip the story. You are the narrator, you are the creator, and you can choose to elevate all those stories into love thyself all if you just choose to do that. Okay. So let's go back into this channeled transmission. So meaning when we say love thyself all, meaning the body, mind, and soul no longer heal through limitation of love in the heart. The limitation in the heart is the story of self-abandonment. So if you have a story of I'm abandoned, this is creating of some distortion or limitation in your heart. Abandonment by another or abandonment by loneliness. I feel lonely. As all of this is false identity of the heart, because you are always merged with the light of the Creator. If you are alive and breathing, that breath that you are breathing is consciousness, and that breath is light, and that light is the Creator, which means you are the creator of your reality. As long as you are breathing in a human experience in a body, you are creating the experience in every single moment, and you are always connected like a direct cord to divinity because you are still talking, breathing, moving. Yeah. And so if you are creating a reality through this experience of abandonment, this will create the story in your body. I'll do that clarification in just a minute, Ben. Okay. The heart as the gateway. So our heart is a special, special machine. Our heart is literally a portal, and it is the gateway. Our heart is what keeps us alive. It's what brings us life force. It's when our heart is beating, we're alive. If it's not beating, we're not there. So it is a direct gateway between your mind and your whole body. It's the center of your chest. Yeah. And all of your body is operating through that portal. It is the gateway. The heart is the gateway between love thyself and love of another. So how you experience your self-love is going to be the gateway between your experience with self and someone else in your life. If you are experiencing yourself with love thyself none, with some lack of unworthiness, of rejection, of abandonment, that is going to be the direct gateway between you and another, and the experience that you are going to magnetize into your experience. And again, there's no judgment. There's nothing wrong with this. The reason this happens is to reflect to you where you are, so you can see where you are, so you can elevate. And it's a beautiful journey because, yes, it's going to maybe it's uncomfortable, but when you can see your shadow and you can see the darkness and you can see it for what it is, and you can actually identify it with another, and instead of taking it personally and being swept away, like Daya said, and becoming the emotion, you can experience the emotion of like, oh, that just happened, witness it, become the witness, an observer, rather than the actual emotion that can sweep you away and be like, oh, wow, what can I see in myself that is still attracting this experience into my field? Once you can see it and you can see it in another, you will feel completely different about it. And it will not hurt anymore like it did when you couldn't see it. If you couldn't see it, if you can't see where your wound is, it's a blind spot, right? And if you're still operating on your blind spot, it's going to be really hard to know the wisdom around it because you are swept in it. But when you can see the experience and witness the experience and separate as an observer to the experience, the elevation and the light that comes back to you from the source of light is instant healing, and it doesn't hurt anymore. Okay. Love thyself and love of another is infinite wisdom of divine union within the sacred vessel of the one holy and true. When you love yourself and you're an experience of that wholeness, and then you love another, that creates divine union. The wisdom creates the wisdom. After the wisdom comes the divine union, and the divine union is the sacred vessel of the one holy and true. And it creates this experience of holiness within you, creates an experience of divine love, creates an experience of divinity. Okay. The law of matter and flesh. But before I continue into here, I want to see what you guys are saying. So Ben was clarifying. When we disempower ourselves in the external, when we chase, control instead of attracting. Okay, so yeah, chasing is I need something. This actually ties into the vice and vitality, the full moon. We just did a full moon activation. And by the way, if you haven't done it, I really do feel like you should, you could go and do it. Doesn't matter if it's on the full moon or not. It's still very, very powerful, but it's talking exactly about this. Like when we are disempowering ourselves and we're not in our power, we start chasing. Think about it like an octopus with tentacles. What can I get from someone else instead of me sitting in my wholeness and attracting whatever is aligned with my vibration? And also, this can also be, I mean, that can be one experience as how I'm interpreting it. No, let's just leave it at that, actually. Yeah, chasing, if we're starting to chase something that because we're coming from a place of lack, then that creates a distortion because we're trying to get something because we don't feel whole inside, right? And that experience within itself isn't disempowering. And further clarification from them, we disempower ourselves in the external when we chase, control. Okay, so chasing, because also chasing, between masculine and feminine polarity can actually, if the masculine is chasing, that's actually his polar energy to do, to be in the doing. But right now we're talking about disempowerment. And so the disempowerment of, I need something to have control because I don't feel good in myself, because something is lacking, because I'm in the vibration of love thyself none. So what can I use to self-medicate to feel good? Is it a person? Is it a drug? Is it alcohol? Is it something that fills our void? And instead of attracting, allowing the creator to bring us our biggest blessings, right? Alignment comes when we are what we seek already. So if you are the vibration of wholeness, you're happy, your joy, your bliss, you will attract that naturally because that is the vibration you're operating from. And if there is something that's in your field that is not in complete alignment with that, take that as a guide to find what is it in me still that needs tweaking to bring more wholeness, to bring more love, to bring more joy, to bring more bliss, to bring more ecstasy, right? And so if you are still in that seeker or like, if you are feeling uneasy, if you're still feeling like something is not settled, you're not in calm or not in peace, you might want to consider, I will bring this up really quick, you might want to consider going to Vice and Vitality. It is on my activation page on my website. And if you haven't done that experience with us, if you haven't done the activation, it does not matter if it was full moon. You can do this activation in whatever. The full moon just enhances our practice, but the codes and the transmission is still very much very powerful. And you can find that on my website. And yeah, that would help bring more peace into that feeling of I'm uneasy and I need something to numb it now, right? So thanks for bringing that up, Ben. Where am I? Oops. The law of matter and flesh? Yes, that's where we were. Okay. All right, so the law of matter and flesh. I love how spirit has its own his own verbal expression. So matter is what is in the tangible and flesh is our body, right? everything that's in our body, to obey. And this is basically manifestation. We're talking about the law of manifestation. To obey the law of matter and flesh, so we understand what manifestation actually means. One must, and it's also the law of attraction. So manifestation is what we attract, right? It's the same thing. So let's talk about manifestation, attraction. So one must heal this limitation in the heart by receiving information of love thyself all. Once we embody the information, the wisdom of love thyself all, this will release the limitation of the heart. And then we can manifest, become master manifestors. We can become amazing divine attractors to attract more divine energy, more divine partnerships, more divine relationships, more divine co-creation. And by receiving the information of love thyself all, one must heal the relationship between soul and flesh, between our soul, our energetic body, and our physical body in the heart of love thyself all. This is what we are elevating and expanding into. The vessel of love thyself none. So it's, my mom always is like, what does love thyself none mean? My mom is Israeli, and she's always, but what is love thyself none? Love thyself none is the term that spirit channels through me of the experience of I don't love myself. I have a hard time with myself. I feel unworthy. I feel unseen. I feel unheard. I feel rejected. I feel that I'm alone. I feel abandoned. That's the experience of love thyself none. And it's not, it can be one or two or three of those things. It's something is in unbalanced state of love. Your love is not completely harmonized. Maybe some feels that with lack of abundance and money. Maybe somebody feels it in their body and their self-image. Maybe somebody feels it with relationships. Maybe somebody feels it in their marriage. Maybe somebody feels it with their hair. What, it could be the smallest thing that they're nitpicking about themselves and they're not harmonized with the love of the divine. Maybe somebody's trying to have children and they're blaming their body because they can't. You know, it can be any experience in the human experience. Abandonment is the vessel of love thyself none. So basically, I feel like it's one of the biggest expressions of love thyself none. If you're in your abandonment consciousness, I am alone. Nobody wants me. I'm not chosen. Why am I alone? Why does nobody understand me? Why did my parents leave me? Why did nobody want me? Why la 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 la. Okay, this creates a force field of the monkey mind of love thyself all, and you can loop about it every day. I am too much of this, so I'm alone. I did this, so no one wants me. I la la la, so my parents abandoned me. I didn't do this, so creator left me. I da 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 da. It's the looping of the story and the external experience in the body, and then the external reality. You feel something in your body, you feel something in your consciousness, you believe something about yourself, and that becomes your reality in your life. And all this is rooted in fear of another's action. Okay, let's read this from the beginning. Abandonment is the vessel of love thyself none, at least one of them, one of the traits. This creates a force field of love thyself all in your heart, rooted in fear of what another person, another's action, and rooted in fear of another's action based of truth of love thyself none. So if you are in love thyself none, operating on that field, you're also going to be afraid of somebody else's actions. Have you ever been in a relationship where you're always worried if one person is going to leave, or a person is going to say this or this or this, or your happiness becomes dependent if they stay or they leave or whatever they do or don't do, right? And that's because it's coming from a place of love thyself none and the trauma or the experience of they're going to leave me. So their action becomes dependent on your happiness, okay? And it's normally rooted in fear. I'm afraid to be abandoned. I'm afraid they're going to leave me. I'm afraid I'm going to stay alone. I'm afraid I'm going to stay alone forever. And Adaya is saying the story, it's a story. This story of abandonment is us completely turning away from the light. The light is always going to be light. The light is always going to be the same frequency of love. It never changes. It's always love. The light is always light. The sun is always the sun. The sun is always bright. Even if it's cloudy, the sun is still vibrating. Have you ever like been on a plane and you're leaving and you're taking off and it's like really dark and it's rainy, and then you go above the clouds and it's sunshine? You're like, wait a minute, that's confusing. It was just raining a moment ago, but the sun is still vibrating and shining so bright. But the experience of what we're going through can be cloudy and can give us the experience of, oh my God, the sun doesn't shine anymore. There is no light. There is no love. But that love is always there. That light is always there. It's just waiting for you to shift to the vibration of love thyself all, to harness this light and give you the biggest blessings of the divine. It's really that simple, but we make it sometimes in our human experience. Oh, I feel so alone. Nobody wants me. I don't feel worthy. La 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 la. The monkey mind says so many stories that are not true. Not true. So let's expand our awareness, right? Expanding awareness. So when we recognize this and we understand what's happening, right? When we understand our stories, when we can actually see our stories, awareness, as I always say, is already 50% of the healing, because you can see it. You're not operating on your blind spots anymore. So if you're not on your blind spots anymore and you're totally aware and okay, you can see it, you are already transforming into a higher state of love. Even if you haven't healed it completely, even if the voice is still there, even if you can hear the voice and it's doing its thing, but you can see it and you're like, oh my God, I see it. It's not autopilot. If you can actually see the story, if you can actually witness it, and you're in your awareness, you are already operating on a higher vibration of consciousness. Seeing with your higher mind, seeing with your higher consciousness, seeing with the light of the Creator is already granting you a higher consciousness. And so to expand this awareness, one must heal the relationship with love thyself, with their love of self. That is the gateway. If you want you want the blessings of the divine, you want to experience the biggest blessings of love, through that awareness, understand your shadow, the pattern, the story, and expand through this experience of love thyself all, and heal identity with betrayal of abandonment, of self-abandonment with self-abandonment with another person, self-abandonment with source creation. You can be telling a story that God doesn't love you, that the Creator doesn't see you, that the Creator doesn't even exist because you've been suffering your whole life. You can be an experience of, oh my God, I've been forgotten in love. I've been forgotten in relationships. I've been single for the longest time. Oh my God, I've been single for the longest time, and I can be in that story. And instead of that story, I'm like, okay, where else can I elevate for more light? Where else can I see myself? Where else can I expand? Where else can I feel ecstasy within myself? What else is it within me that wants to be more closer to the divine? Where can I let go even more? And this is where we're deepening more and more and more to expand our divine relationship with Creator. Okay, so we can feel abandonment on many levels. It can be with ourselves, it can be with our friends, it can be with a partner, it can be with a husband, a children, our mother, father. It can be our spiritual mother, father, the creation, the source of all that is. And so abandonment is the vital truth of love thyself none. When I say love thyself none, we can understand this as an abandonment, a feeling of being abandoned and forgotten by a higher source of love. Okay. And so knowing this, seeing this, feeling this, understanding this, being in the awareness of this is already the pathway to liberate yourself and to elevate to the experience of love thyself all. All right, so before we get into the activation that's coming back up on the 11th, I do want to kind of see what else we got going on the chat. Oh, even thunder and storming, yet the sun is always there. And that's the truth. It might be on one side of the earth, maybe it's nighttime, but when the sun shines, and one thing that we can count on for the longest time is that the sun always comes out. There's always a new day. There's always a new night and there's always a new day. And the day is always there. Yes, it could rain. Yes, it could be stormy. Yes, it could be whatever. But the sun is always shining very bright. And it's how we cloud our vision, our interpretation, our story we can look at it as the clouds, right? Or as the rain, as the storm that we are going through within. Self-abandonment, this has been self-abandonment often begins by caring for adults to get our needs met. As adults, that overcare becomes self-neglect. Reparenting ourselves allows us to love from a full cup instead of an empty one. Exactly. If we are trying to get our needs met by others, by a substance, by something outside of ourselves, it can be a person, it can be drugs, it can be alcohol, it can be a sexual addiction, it can be an addiction to social media, it can be addiction to television, it can be addiction to watching the news, it can be addiction to gossiping about other people's life, whatever it is that we're trying to get our needs met to feel more whole inside, right? As adults, that if you're doing that you can become a self-neglect. And I'm hoping that this is what you're saying, Ben, because this is how I'm reading this. And reparenting ourselves, right? Instead of letting all of that disbalance, we can reparent ourselves like the mother, father, and allow us to come from a full cup instead of an empty one, right? And that light, the light is that full cup. That sunshine, the sun that is above the storm, that light of creator, of spirit, of divine energy, the mana, chi, prana, the consciousness of creator is what fills our cup. No one else can ever fill our cup like the light of the creator. That is our anchor. And when you are merged in your heart, and when you're feeling the light in your heart, and when you are vibrating on that love, my friends, you're going to feel so good. It's going to feel so good. And again, you can feel the other experience about life, sadness, maybe something really bad happened on the other side of the world, war, somebody, you lost someone, my friend just lost her husband. It's really sad that the husband is gone and the daughter is 10. Go tell this wisdom or this information to a 10-year-old. That 10-year-old can't understand this right now. Maybe she can. Maybe that's actually, maybe she can. I don't want to just put it out there. Maybe she really can. But maybe if she can't, this is her polarity. This is her shadow. This is her pain that she's going to grow up and learn from. So there is never right or wrong. We all kind of signed up for this, for this journey. And whatever we signed up for as a child, as a soul, as a soul that enters this consciousness, this world, is here to bring more light. The more shadow, the darker the shadow, the higher the light. You know how, have you ever been in love? And that love was so powerful. You were so high. You experienced such bliss and so high, and you're like a drug on that person. And then that person had ended, and then you felt depleted. You got into depression because that high became, that person made you high instead of you being in your bliss. Now, if you already came from a place of bliss and high, and then that person came into bliss and high, then you're experiencing this bliss and high together. And when it ends, your light was already there, and your light is already going to be there also when it leaves. And you find that strength, the willpower, and the experience of loss in a much higher voltage of love rather than lack, because you didn't get into relationship with that person because you felt unhappy. If you are dependent on a relationship with someone else to feed you and to fill you with happiness, that becomes very codependent, and it's going to cause a lot of problems, because everything that person does or doesn't do is going to cause rupture or an experience of pain for the other person, because that person is the only thing that's making them happy. And that's why they came into that relationship in the first place. It's really important to know that, right? Because if you're coming from a place of that lack and you are dependent on that person, oh my God, you are in for a ride. You're in for a ride, because You can't be dependent on someone else. It is the highest drug. Love is the highest drug. Just make sure that that drug that you want to experience with love is coming from divinity and coming from the source of light, that coming in from a source of elevation, of joy, of actually pure happiness, that's coming from your merge and your wisdom. When you have this wisdom, nothing can touch you. So let's get into the activation. November 11th, we all know, or maybe we don't, but I'm here to tell you, 11/11 is a portal. 11 is a gateway. 11/11, November 11 is a very powerful day because it's a portal. And that's why we're doing 3 activations. I normally do 2 activations a month, one for new moon and one for full moon. And because there's a portal in November and in December, that's why we're doing 3 activations in November and 3 activations in December. And what we're going to be doing is elevating our light of the creator. We're working on the subject of abandonment, and I'm going to talk about the points that are going to be in this activation. So clearing the imprint of love thyself none, and heal identity with the light of the creator in the physical and energetic body, soul, and flesh, with infinite wisdom of the heart of love thyself all. Okay, we're going to download this information, and we're going to download this energy while clearing the trauma, the experience, the lower vibrational ties, karmic ties that we have with abandonment. Heals the illusion of separation, the belief that love is abandoned, rejected, or can be taken away, and restore inner divine union in the body, mind, and soul. We're going to increase vital truth with love thyself, clearing old identity patterns rooted in abandonment and fear, and balancing the energy between love of self and love of another. So all of this work anyways is what we're doing is to balance ourselves. And when we're doing it on ourselves, that becomes the external reality with another. So within, so without. We're going to purify polarity in the heart. When I say purifying polarity in the heart, that means that we are working on our electrical circuit. We're working on the masculine and feminine electrical circuit in our heart and in our body. Purifying it, removing abandonment from your heart experience, and so your heart can vibrate on love thyself all rather than love thyself none, and expand heart awareness, opening pleasure, passion, ecstasy, love, and devotion, and allow the creator, the life of the creator, the energy of the creator to flow freely in the body. Okay? Allow the heart to expand through choice and action, to abandon oneself no longer. Choice and action. Isn't that beautiful? Choice and action. We choose our actions. And this experience is going to download this activation. We're going to imprint the energy of choosing to be in action of love thyself all. Strengthen our willpower to be in the vibration of love thyself all. Heal the relationship with love thyself none. So whatever it is that is rocking your love thyself none imprint, if it's rejection, abandonment, self-worth, self-unworthiness, and all of those things kind of lead to abandonment, right? Because if you are feeling abandoned, you're feeling unworthy. And so heal the relationship with that abandonment of love thyself none, and bless yourself with infinite wisdom of love thyself all. That wisdom is the blessing for you to know thyself. And when you know thyself, when you know who you are, you'll feel so much love inside, because that is power. When you know who you are and you know your power, nothing can budge you. You understand who you are. You become the vibration of love thyself all. We're also going to release fear held between self-love and love of another. If you have fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of unworthiness, between your body, between yourself and creator, between yourself and another, we're going to balance and clear that, and ignite freedom with karmic abandonment, and restore the heart with truth of divine self-love. And also, some of us may have contracts, oaths, and agreements to be abandoned in this lifetime, so we can learn how to grow spiritually, or we can learn how to love ourselves. We have all kinds of unconscious contracts with self or with other people and other soul ties that bind us to the experience of abandonment because our subconscious believes that it brings us more light, or it brings us more joy, or it will bring us more self-love through learning through that wisdom. And so we don't actually have to do that. So in this activation, we're also going to be clearing oaths, contracts, and agreements between ourselves, between our light of the creator, or between us or any soul tie in your life that is creating the experience of abandonment or self-abandonment or abandonment with the creator. And download that you don't need that anymore, basically, that you can live the most harmonious blessings without the experience of abandonment. So that is in a nutshell. And if you enjoy this information, if you like the content, if you feel like it strengthens your energy and that you feel elevated through it and you feel like this is giving you some value, give a like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps me grow my channel and share this wisdom with other people. And yeah, anybody want to share anything? Cultivating love from the inside so we can receive freely from the outside. That is Ben. Anybody want to say last words? We have come to the end of our show. Also, if you want to sign up, please go to deepintuitivehealing.com. Wait, I need to take this off so I can put this up or remove that. Add this to the stage. Go to deepintuitivehealing.com. And on the front page, you have the portal to where you can sign up. There is an early bird for $33. By the way, I don't know how to create on my website yet to have multiple activations for a deal. So right now we're just going to do early bird until I can figure it out also on the new website. So we have early bird. Early bird is till 2 days from now, November 10th. November 11th, it goes back to $44. You also, if you want to pay more and you want to support my work and my being and any support, any gift, there's a sliding scale. If you want to share more of your energy with me, that energy always gives me the juice and the energy and the time to sit and channel for you and create this content. And so, yeah, all that is in Deep Intuitive Healing, and more information is on the website. Thank you so much for choosing to be with me on this beautiful Sabbath, this beautiful Saturday. I am sending you a big aloha, big love, big joy, big peace, big hug, big squeezes. I love you so, so much. You are so loved. Blessings to your body, blessings to your journey, and blessings to your heart of love. I will see you in our activation on November 11th, 11/11 portal, and bless me with your presence. Thank you so much, and a big squeeze and oosh from Ben and me to you. Oosh, oosh is it's like a Israeli way to say I love you. Oosh, 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 so much oosh. So much oosh to you, and see you on November 11th. I love you so, 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 so. Thank you so much for being here today. Mahalo nui loa.